Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm joined with Adrian Lee. He'll be fighting September 5th against Tye Ruotolo on the one fight night card in his fourth professional MMA bout. How's it going today?
It's going great. Camp's been real good. I'm so ready to get in the ring already and excited to put on a show.
So before getting into the fight, I did want to ask a little bit about, growing up, just because you come from such a successful family.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, what is your earliest memory of, getting beat up in the gym by your siblings or just, anything combat sports related when you were really young?
Yeah, honestly, as far as I can remember, I've always been on the mats. I started training when I was 3 years old. I had my first MMA pancreas fight when I was 4. So, as far as I can think back, I've always been on the mats in the gym, training day in and day out. And it kind of feels like what was meant to be on with me going down this route.
First pancreas fight when you were 4?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
it was in Canada.
That is insane. I started wrestling when I was 3, and I don't remember anything from that.
Yeah.
That's wild. But being just you're 19 years old now, was it, you kind of said it, but was there ever a time when you were thinking anything other than MMA? Like going to college or doing anything like that? Obviously, you have your social media that's doing really well.
Yeah, honestly, for me, to be honest, now it's it was always meant to be, but when I first started out, it was more so for fun, and then for a while, there's my parents, they all put all of our siblings into MMA because, they wanted us to know how to defend ourselves. But for me, I didn't have really the drive to become an MMA fighter and a world champion until my first nationals. And after I lost that, I got second place at my first nationals. That's when it really lit a fire in me, and I was like, I don't like losing. And that's when I really started just tearing through the youth competition.
How old were you when you was your first national?
I think I was 12 or 13 when we went up to I think it was USFL nationals, and then I got second place. Yeah.
That is actually wild. So obviously you're coming from a talented family. What does it mean to you to have so much talent around you, obviously in your gym, but specifically in your family? And how has it pushed you in the gym and in your fighting career?
No, yeah, definitely. My family is what has helped shape me to become the fighter that I am today. Especially a lot of credit to my brother, who's my head coach, Adrien Lee. Really, I owe it all to him because he's really what's helped me mold and create, the fighter that I am today.
Do you ever feel any added pressure because of your brother's success before you?
Oh, for sure. Definitely coming into the sport with such, with siblings that have achieved so much in the sport, there's always a lot to live up to, because there's always going to be more and more expectations for, the fourth sibling. But for me, I've known that this was going to happen for such a long time, and by now I've already learned to deal with it. And I use it to, drive me instead of pushing myself down.
So now that your brother, he is your head coach right now. I actually didn't know. He's setting up your camp for you and stuff?
Yeah, my brother, for this camp, yeah. For my past 3 fights, my brother has been my head coach, and then my dad has just started coming back into coaching as since my first fight, he was just starting to come back into coaching. And then now my brother and my dad are helping coach me at the same time. But my brother is my main head coach.
That's awesome. What is the best piece of advice? And this might be a hard question to answer, but maybe just one that's stuck with you since maybe younger or maybe a week ago that your brother told you about fighting or about life?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It might be a hard question.
One thing that I get told again and again is just to make sure to breathe. I feel that's one thing, it's such a huge part of, the entire fight game is you got to know how to breathe, taking deep breaths, calm yourself, and always whenever, a fight's coming up, they always say, stay focused on the plan. There's always going to be so many outside distractions that are going to come in, the media, the interviews, all the spotlight, but you got to stay focused on what you're going there to do, which is to fight. So the main thing they always tell me is just, stay focused on what I'm getting there to do.
That reminds me of, I've seen so many clips of you right before the fight starts doing like your deep breaths, before the fight. There's so many edits of that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So now getting more into like your fight with Tye.
Mm-hmm.
So you faced 3 opponents so far that have all ended in submission wins for you.
Mm-hmm.
So how does preparing for a guy like Tye, who is a world-class grappler, change like the game plan going into the fight?
Yeah, definitely. Tye Ruotolo, he's a very accomplished grappler. He's very big in the jiu-jitsu scene, but, at the end of the day, it's an MMA fight. It's not a grappling match. And the sport of MMA is so much different from the sport of grappling. There's so many different things. There's striking, wrestling, grappling, and then there's the ability to mix them all together. You cannot just be good at 1, 2, or 3 things. You got to be good at mixing them all together. And I really feel like that's where I strive in, and I really plan on showing a lot of holes in his game come fight night.
Yeah. So you have said on a recent interview that on his end, the fact that he's taking the fight is a very bad idea, mainly due to the fact he lacks the whole complete MMA aspect of training, pretty much, because he's built himself up as a jiu-jitsu specialist. Do you think he should have built himself up with a few MMA fights instead of just hopping in against you in a debut fight?
Oh, I definitely think that it would have been a lot better idea for him to, build himself up, get a couple fights, get some more experience, because, every fight that you do is so much more experience. It's levels to your game that's added on every time. And I think, jumping in his debut against me, it's going to be a bad idea. And I'm going to show why it was that come fight night.
So how has camp been, balancing between all the aspects of MMA? Are you like kind of just building up yourself and your skills pretty much, or are you actually focusing on the specific opponent?
Yeah, throughout every one of my fights, we cover, every single scenario that could happen in the fight. Of course, we focus on Tye Ruotolo's game. We focus on how I'm going to counter it, and we also focus on what I'm planning to do and how I'm going to execute it. So, really, when the fight comes around, I really plan on finishing him any means necessary, whether it be a knockout or even a submission.
So you are not going to stay away from the ground. If you go there, you're confident going there, and you won't shy away from it.
Yeah, I'm confident that if it goes to the ground, I could submit him too. I think that's definitely one thing that they're overlooking, because, the fact that he called me out, he's definitely overlooking that. So I'm excited.
Fans looking in, these are 2 young prospects, obviously, that, you guys could almost build yourselves up and fight for a world title someday. But you're fighting now in your 4th fight in his debut. So from your perspective, are you viewing this as like a high-level matchup, or like an opportunity to just build on your skills and your like well-roundedness in MMA?
Yeah, I definitely see this fight as an early-on legacy fight for me. Tye Ruotolo, he's a big name. Even though he's not, he's not an MMA fighter, he's a grappler. But, it's still he's a big name inside the jiu-jitsu community. So I plan on taking his momentum and using it to build myself and build off of it. But, I definitely think what you said was true. Like, I was picturing me and them were going to fight later down the line, where it's like, maybe fighting for the belt or something. But it's okay. I don't mind taking him out early. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Are there any specific positions in Tye's game that you're looking to maybe stay away from or attack, whether it be on the ground or really anywhere?
No, I welcome all parts of his game, and it's just going to be really, defeating once I shut down every one of them.
Yeah, 100%. So this is just an idea, but you and Christian versus Tye and Cade, tag team MMA match. I think we need to make this happen.
I think that tag team would be a one-sided slaughter. To be honest, my brother, he's the 2-division champion right now, and then I don't think either of them stand a chance against him, much less against me in this next fight.
Yeah, that would that'd be funny. That build up to that would be awesome. All right, so perfect world, down to a T. If you could predict every little part of this fight, perfect weight cut, perfect walkout, everything's amazing, how do you get the job done?
I see it ending, everything goes amazing according to plan. First round, TKO, KO, or submission. You know, for me, I always say any of those three because I take whatever comes first. You know, I really feel like I'm an all-around mixed martial artist and I can finish it anywhere.
Do you think that, like, if you had to pick between knocking him out or submitting him, like you had the choice, it's going to happen, don't you think it'd be cooler to get that submission win?
It would be cooler, you know. That's definitely something on my mind, you know. They're overlooking my grappling skills just because I haven't been to these mainstream grappling tournaments. But, you know, gonna shock the world with that submission.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So, long term, let's say 10 years, you're 29 years old. Where do you see yourself? And, like, what do you want to have accomplished by then?
You know, by the time I'm 29, I plan on becoming, by then, my mindset, my path, I see it unfolding is I plan on being the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. You know, I plan on achieving everything there is to achieve inside of the sport of mixed martial arts. I plan on conquering multiple divisions and being completely undefeated.
Do you think you're going to do that by, I know this is super long term, it's only your fourth fight yet, but do you think long term you're going to stay with one, or are you going to travel to different organizations?
You know, who knows? It's hard to say for my future. For the time being, I love One Championship. They treat me very well, and I love the organization. So definitely for, you know, just seeing for this fight and the next few fights going forward, you know, I love One Championship, and I wouldn't mind sticking with them.
So last question, not really a question, but more for you. Final message that you want to send to Tye Ruotolo ahead of your fight, September 5th.
My final message to Tye Ruotolo is that, you know, I'm going to show you why choosing me was a very bad idea. And I plan on making it the worst night ever for you.
Awesome. Thank you for your time today.
Yeah,
and good luck on September 5th.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice talking to you.